Hi, Mrs. Jones. My name is Amanda Price, and I'm your occupational therapy assistant at this inpatient rehab. The goal of occupational therapy is to get you back to doing activities that you like to do, making sure that you're functionally mobile, and to start getting you back doing some of your meaningful occupations that give you some pleasure in life. I want to make my goals your goals so that we're able to accomplish them together. One of the ways we do this is through passive range of motion. I know that you recently just had a stroke, which left you with some left side hemiparalysis. And a way that we're going to be able to keep your joints nice and mobile is through passive range of motion. Do you know what passive range of motion is? I know you've been doing it with other therapists, but are you
Not entirely sure.
Okay, so passive range of motion is moving the joints through their range of motion, but with an outside force. So I'm going to be doing all the work, you don't do anything.
Okay.
Perfect. So before we start, is there any other underlying medical condition other than the stroke that I need to know about, or are you feeling bad today?
No, I feel good today.
Okay, there's no pain or discomfort?
No pain.
Okay, awesome. If this changes at any time, please let me know. Or if you have any questions, also stop me.
Okay.
Great. So we're going to start with passive range of motion, and you're going to want your client in a 90-90-90 degree. So they're sitting up straight. This will keep good body mechanics for your client so that no further injury will be occurring. So we're going to start with the shoulder joint and move down distally. When you start with the shoulder joint, you're going to want to have your hand placed just on the opposite side of the joint so that you are able to support it. So we're going to start with shoulder flexion and extension, and your other hand is going to want to be right underneath the arm so that you're also able to support it. So we're going to start with shoulder flexion. When you're doing this, you're not going to want to move the joint past the range that you feel. So if you feel any resistance, please stop. Also, be careful to watch your client's face so that if you do see any signs of grimacing, that might indicate that there also needs to be a stopping point. So we're going to start with shoulder flexion. Flexion. Extension. Flexion. Extension. Flexion. Extension. Your extension's a little bit tight there. Flexion and extension. Great. And for the purpose of this video, we're only going to be performing each motion 2 to 3 times, but for caregiver purposes, you're going to want to perform this at least 10 times, or until you feel the joint is mobile. Or if the client asks you to stop and it's too much, stop then as well. We're going to next do abduction and adduction. Again, you're going to want to support that joint and also support the arm underneath. So we're going to start with abduction, which is away from the midline. So we're going to abduct and adduct. Abduct and adduct. Abduct and adduct. Great. Any pain or discomfort there?
No, good, thanks.
Great. Okay, the next one we're going to want to do is horizontal abduction and adduction. So you're going to start with the arm in the horizontal plane, and we're going to adduct and abduct. Adduct and abduct. Adduct and abduct. Everything still feeling okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, so the next move we're going to be doing is internal rotation and external rotation. And because this client has left side hemiparalysis, we're going to do a modified way because it'll just be easier for you as the caregiver to perform this act this way. So we're going to start with internal rotation. And the modified way looks like it's not working the shoulder joint, but it actually is still working the shoulder joint. So you're still going to want to support the shoulder at this point, but for the modified version, we're going to be holding it a little closer down to the wrist. So we're going to internally rotate and externally rotate. Internally rotate and externally rotate.
I can feel that in my shoulder.
Internally rotate and externally rotate. No pain though?
No.
Internally rotate and externally rotate. Excellent. I'm glad you could feel that in your shoulder though, that's great. So we're gonna be moving now down to the elbow, and I'm gonna sit next to you so I can see you and give myself proper body mechanics. So the first move we're going to do is flexion and extension at the elbow joint. So you're gonna wanna hold right above that joint and then right below that joint, so the arm is supported. So we're gonna start with flexion, like imagine yourself flexing your muscles, and extending. Flexing and extension. Flexion and extension. Flexion and extension. Just imagine yourself at the gym where you flex your muscles. Okay, the next one we're gonna be doing is pronation and supination. And the way I like to remember this is imagine you're holding a bowl of soup and then you're pouring it out. So we're gonna start with supination, which is holding that bowl of soup, and then pronation is pouring it out. Supination and pronation. Supination, pronation. Supination and pronation. Supination, pronation. Great. You feel any pain or discomfort during that?
No, I'm good.
Excellent. We're now going to move to a table so I can support the joints a little bit better of both the wrist and the fingers.